Doctor Who and the Crusade. Seriously, what do I need to say about this story? It's my second favourite William Hartnell historical of all time, second favourite William Hartnell story of all time, my favourite pure historical Doctor Who story, my second favourite Doctor Who, probably my second favourite Doctor Who story of all time. It's just an utterly incredible story in my personal opinion, which makes the item I picked up today even more special to have in my collection. Now, the item that I got this the shop that I got this specific item in holds quite a bit of history for me personally. It is a shop called Bookends. Back in 2014, I purchased my three first classic series original fiction novels from that shop for £4 each. In fact, I still have the pencil markings from the shop way back in the day when I bought them in 2004, when I bought these books back in 2014. So you can see that this shop holds a lot of significance for me as a Doctor Who collector, as it's where my journey of the PDAs, EDAs, Virgin New Adventures, Virgin Missing Adventures, and practically all of my experience of classic Doctor Who books happened there first. I bought these very shortly after I bought Ark in Space and Abominable Snowmen, Ice Warriors, Target reprints from 2011-2012 in a shop called The Works for a few quid each. So the Bookends holds a very special place in my heart, as it was very close to beginning for me for Doctor Who books. Well, I went in there today and I saw it had some pretty epic stuff. It had three video box sets, and I was talking to the guy and he even showed me he had this I don't know the name of the book, but it's this like Philip Hinchcliffe behind the scenes monsters of Tom Baker's era book or something like that. It's a dust jacket book with the Fourth Doctor and either a Zygon or a Scaracen monster on the cover, and they had that in there for £5, but I wasn't interested. I was much more interested in this, and believe it or not, he said that he even once had in there recently a annual signed by Tom Baker for £30, but it wasn't there because it had been bought, so I was a bit unlucky there. But in there they had 3 video box sets. I didn't get 2 of them because, quite frankly, VHSs, when it comes to VHSs, I only buy the ones from my favourite era and ones that massively interest me. The other 2 they had there was the limited edition tin box set of Revelation and Planet of the Daleks and the Trial of a Time Lord video box set. So what video box set did I get, you may ask? As you might have been able to figure out already, it is the 18 years old, or coming this year, 18 years old, released in 1999, limited edition Doctor Who video box set of The Crusade and the Space Museum. Oh, this feels amazing to have this in my collection, especially because, as I've said, The Crusade is is practically my second favourite Doctor Who story of all time. Might even be my favourite. I need to re-experience it and review it in the future, but yeah, it just feels amazing to have this box set in my collection, because The Crusade is such a good story and is probably my second favourite Doctor Who story of all time. So taking a look at this item, we have Doctor Who, BBC, The Crusade and the Space Museum, PG, starring William Hartnell, limited edition box set featuring rediscovered episode 1 of The Crusader Lion, unseen for over 30 years, plus a CD containing the 2 soundtracks for episodes 2 and 4 of The Crusade, and postcards and TARDIS keyring. Then at the bottom of it we have The Crusade and the Space Museum, Doctor Who, The Crusade and the Space Museum PG, The Crusade and the Space Museum, and then Doctor Who, The Crusade and the Space Museum PG. And then for the back, we have the contents of this box set, a picture of what comes in the box set, sort of other stuff and various other stuff about the box set, and the total runtime for this box set is 148 minutes for the video and 47 minutes for the CD approximately. Inside this limited edition collector's box, The Crusade by David Whitaker and the Space Museum by Glyn Jones, starring William Hartnell, from 12th century Palestine, where King Richard the Lionheart is embroiled in a holy war against the Saracen ruler Saladin. The Doctors and his companions venture to the planet Zeros and discover the unsettling sight of their own future themselves. Displayed as exhibits in the Morocco Museum includes the Crusade Episode 1, The Lion Unseen for 30 Years, and Episode 3, special linking material starring William Russell, Ian Chesterton in the stories, brings the missing episode and introduces the Space Museum. Also includes special fold-out sleeve detailing the remaining episodes. Also inside CD, The Crusades Episodes 2 and 4, digitally remastered audio soundtrack, also includes information on the history and restoration of the Crusade, plus exclusive extras, 4 postcards, a limited edition TARDIS keyring. And PG, parental guidance reviewing, because some scenes may be unsuitable for young children. And I completely forgot to go over the cover art. I'm just too excited to have this. But for the basic sort of cover, we have this sort of greeny, foresty sort of setting with sort of pine trees in the background, with King Richard, the first Doctor there, holding a sort of a bracelet, who appears to be trying to sexually seduce King Richard with that rather odd look on his face. And then there we've got 2 Moroccs, or whatever they are called. I haven't seen Space Museum in ages, because quite frankly I don't care for that story. I mainly got this for the Crusade, as you probably already know already. Looking at their snow globe trinket, taking I don't know what it's called, but I'm just going to call it a snow globe trinket, because as I said, I don't give a fuck about the Space Museum. It's an awful story. But anyways, taking a look, as you can see, this is made out of very sturdy and tough cardboard, so nice bit of strongness to the box there. Then taking a look at the inside, we have the 4 postcards that come with this box set. We have one of some guy from the Space Museum, really good postcard of King Richard, really good photo of King Richard and the First Doctor, which is where and this picture is where the cover comes from. As you can see, it's just been photoshopped onto the cover from that, I guess. And then there you've got another picture from the Crusade. Very nice set of postcards overall for this box set. Kind of odd how they didn't do 2 postcards for each story, but it's Crusade, so I'm happy. And there we've got the little TARDIS keychain. This is a bit battered, as you can see, but as it's got like a little rust mark on there, the sort of cover of it is a bit sticky. As you can see, there's grain marks and stuff like that, and it doesn't come with the actual sort of keychain part with it, but honestly I'm not bothered, as everything else in this box set comes as it was supposed to be. Then here we have the soundtrack CD for episodes 2 and 4 of the Crusade, and there's a look at the front, the spine, Doctor Who, the Crusade, BBC, and then the back with a look at the other spine there. And then taking a look at the innards, we've got the actual disc, and the disc is pretty much brand new, despite this box set being 18 years old this year, which is pretty incredible. Then taking out the booklet, if I can. There we go. And Disaster Catastrophe. Sorry, I didn't have this reference. Anyways, I'm getting distracted. We have the cover of the booklet. And then taking a look at the inside, we have a bit about Doctor in the Crusade, Rescuing the Crusade picture restoration, which is about restoring the episodes and how they restored episode 1 of The Lion, which is an extremely interesting sort of story about how they managed to restore that episode, and the sort of restoration of The Lion as a whole is a very interesting sort of subject for Doctor Who. in my opinion. Then we've got sound restoration, and taking a look at the back, we've got a continuation of the sound restoration, a cast from the story, and then other video box sets available at the time. The Ice Warriors collection, which I actually have, and I'll show you that in a minute. And then there we've got the E-Space trilogy box set, which I do not have, and quite frankly, I'm not interested in the slightest. Full Circle, really bad story in my opinion. Was quite possibly the worst fake spiders I've seen in my entire life. State of Decay is very mediocre in my opinion. However, I really like Warriors Gate. I think Warriors Gate is great in my opinion. Got a tongue twister, and then we've got the cover again. So yeah, there is the sort of CD part of this box set, and as you can see, it comes with this sort of black sort of line, sort of casing for this CD release, and I personally much prefer those rather than the sort of silver or sort of clear sort of CD boxes we get nowadays. I just like the sort of retro feel of these sort of CDs, and I just love the black spine. It just adds a lot of character to the CD for me personally, and I much prefer them than to these sort of clear ones we have nowadays. These sort of things, I much prefer these black ones personally, but hey ho, that's just me. Moving on from that, we have the actual video itself, and now we've just got the bottom of the box set with just lots of stuff, just the sort of cardboard layout of the box set. Putting that back inside and taking a look at the video, we have sort of the same cover again, except slightly lower quality, I think, for some reason. Looking at it with the naked eye. Then there the spine, and then there we have the back, and then for the innards we have the tape itself, advertisements for other Doctor Who videos, and a bit about Doctor Who The Missing Years. So yeah, there is basically the presentation of this quite frankly amazing Doctor Who box set. I ran into this for a really good price of 13 quid, and that's quite a bit for a box set, video box set, but honestly I'm happy to pay that much, as The Crusade in my opinion is one of my, if not my favourite Doctor Who story of all time. It's very tough to decide between The Crusade or Dalek's Master Plan, or even the new series episode Turn Left, which is probably surprising for some people, but I personally like that episode a lot. And one more. Aha, here it is. So, as I alluded to earlier, I also have the Ice Warriors collection, which I bought in a charity shop about quite a few years ago now, and it's one of the most viewed videos I have on my channel, so there is that. So yeah, it's just nice overall to have both of these box sets in my collection, as I'm a massive fan of 1960s Doctor Who. But the Ice Warriors one doesn't come with the actual book, but I might be able to buy that off of eBay. But honestly, I'm not that bothered, as I'm happy having both of these in my collection, especially this one right here, or both of them really, as having a Lost TV Episodes documentary on this is pretty incredible, and I really need to listen to the Lost TV Episode documentaries that there were on the missing TV episode collection soundtrack box sets that I have. But anyways guys, that was this installment of Underworld Updates. I think this is either Underworld Updates number 65 or 64, something like that, or possibly even 66, I don't know. But anyways, today I just displayed this wonderful video and CD box set of Doctor Who and the Doctor Who The Crusade and the Space Museum. So like, favorite, comment, subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Pitch Skull Black, dematerialising.